What if, right now, someone offered you the chance to become the first human in history to enter a black hole? Would you do it? Most people would say no, because we've all heard the same terrifying story. Black holes destroy everything. Nothing survives, nothing escapes. Even light disappears forever. But here's something that should genuinely make you stop and think. What if almost everything we've imagined about black holes is incomplete? What if the greatest mystery in the universe isn't outside a black hole, but waiting inside one? For decades, scientists have pointed telescopes toward these invisible monsters. They've watched stars disappear, they've watched light bend, they've watched entire clouds of gas vanish forever. Yet not a single human, not a single probe, not even a beam of light, has ever returned to tell us what really exists beyond the event horizon. That simple fact makes black holes different from every other place in the universe. Mars can be explored, the moon can be visited, even the edge of our solar system can be reached. But a black hole keeps its secret forever. Now imagine this, you are floating inside the most advanced spacecraft humanity has ever built. Behind you, the entire universe. Ahead of you, a perfectly black circle hanging silently in space. No flames, no explosions, no terrifying sound, just complete darkness. It almost looks harmless, but that darkness contains millions, sometimes billions, of times more mass than our sun. Every second you drift closer, gravity quietly becomes stronger. At first, nothing feels unusual. Your heartbeat is normal. Your breathing is calm. The instruments inside your spacecraft show everything working perfectly. You might even wonder, is this really the most dangerous object in existence? Then something strange begins to happen. The stars behind the black hole no longer appear where they should be. Instead, they begin stretching into glowing circles around the darkness. Space itself appears to bend. It's as if the universe has become a giant mirror. You're not seeing an illusion. You're watching gravity bend light itself. Einstein predicted this over 100 years ago, and today, we've actually observed it. A black hole doesn't simply pull objects, it changes the shape of space and time. Imagine placing a heavy bowling ball on a stretched rubber sheet. Everything nearby rolls toward it. Now imagine that rubber sheet is reality itself. That's what gravity really is. Not an invisible force pulling you, but space bending around massive objects. And nothing bends space more than a black hole. As your spacecraft moves closer, time itself begins changing. Not in your spaceship. To you, everything feels completely normal. But somewhere far away, someone watching through an impossibly powerful telescope would notice something unbelievable. Your spacecraft appears to move slower, and slower, and slower. It's almost frozen. Your clock seems to stop. Your movements become incredibly slow. Eventually, you seem completely motionless. Yet inside your spacecraft, you're still talking, still breathing, still thinking. Who is right? You, or the observer watching from far away? The answer is shocking, both of you. This is one of the strangest truths in modern physics. Time isn't the same for everyone. Gravity can literally change how fast time flows. The stronger the gravity, the slower time moves. And nowhere in the universe is gravity stronger than near a black hole. That means, without realizing it, you're already traveling into the future. Hours for you could become years for someone else. Days could become centuries. You haven't built a time machine, you've simply fallen toward a place where reality itself behaves differently. But this is only the beginning. Because the real mystery doesn't start outside the black hole. It starts at a boundary scientists call the event horizon. There is no wall, no giant gate, no glowing barrier. If you crossed it, you probably wouldn't even notice. That's what makes it so terrifying. The moment your escape becomes impossible, nothing dramatic happens. Your spacecraft continues moving normally. Your heartbeat remains steady. Your hands still grip the controls. Everything feels ordinary, except one terrifying fact. No force in the universe can ever bring you back. Not rockets, not lasers, not future technology, not even light itself. Every possible path now leads only one direction. Deeper, closer to the center, closer to the greatest mystery in existence. For decades, scientists believed they already knew what waited there. A singularity, a place where all matter is crushed into an infinitely tiny point. A place where density becomes infinite. A place where density becomes infinite. Gravity becomes infinite. Space ends. Time ends. Physics ends. But recently, many physicists have started asking a different question. What if that's completely wrong? What if the singularity isn't the end, but the beginning of something we've never imagined? And if that's true, then stepping inside a black hole may not be the end of your journey. It may be the first step into a completely different reality. Because from this point onward, everything you thought you knew about the universe is about to change. You crossed the event horizon, and somehow, nothing happened. No explosion, no violent impact, no invisible wall. Your spacecraft continues moving exactly as before. If you didn't know where you were, you would never guess you had just crossed the most dangerous boundary in the universe. That's what makes a black hole so terrifying. The moment your escape becomes impossible, it doesn't feel dangerous at all. You look out of the window one last time. The universe is still there. The stars are still shining. But something is changing. The light behind you slowly begins to disappear every second. The outside universe becomes harder to see. Not because the stars are dying, but because space itself is folding around you. Imagine trying to swim against a river that keeps flowing faster every second. At first, you can still move. Then, the current becomes stronger. Eventually, no matter how hard you try, every movement pulls you deeper downstream. That's exactly what happens inside a black hole. Except the river isn't made of water, it's made of space itself. Inside the event horizon, space is literally falling inward faster than the speed of light. That's why nothing can escape. Not because black holes are giant cosmic vacuum cleaners, but because every possible direction now leads toward the center. Even if you fired the most powerful rocket humanity could ever build, you wouldn't move outward. You would simply reach the center slightly later. That idea sounds impossible. Yet according to Einstein's equations, that's exactly how reality behaves. Now another strange thing begins happening. Your feet feel slightly heavier than your head. Not enough to notice at first. Just a tiny difference. But every second, that difference grows. Gravity near your feet becomes stronger, while gravity near your head becomes weaker. This difference is called a tidal force. Near a small black hole, those forces become enormous. They stretch everything. Your body, your spacecraft, even atoms themselves. Scientists call this process spaghettification. It's a funny name, but the reality is terrifying. Imagine holding a piece of soft rubber. Now pull both ends. The rubber becomes longer and thinner. Now imagine gravity doing the same thing to everything in existence. Fortunately, the black hole you're entering is unimaginably massive. So massive that these tidal forces remain surprisingly weak near the event horizon. For now, you survive. You continue falling. Minutes pass, or maybe hours. It's impossible to know anymore. Because inside a black hole, distance and time stop behaving the way humans understand them. Every instrument inside your spacecraft continues working, but the laws controlling the universe outside are no longer familiar. You remember something your physics teacher once said. Gravity bends space and time. Back then, it sounded like an interesting sentence. Now, you're living inside it. Then another thought enters your mind. What if black holes aren't cosmic prisons? What if they're doors? For decades, Scientists believed everything inside eventually reaches one final destination: the singularity, a point where density becomes infinite, where every known law of physics collapses. But today, many physicists are no longer satisfied with that answer, because infinity usually means one thing: our mathematics has reached its limit, not necessarily reality. Some theories suggest that space itself has a smallest possible size, like pixels on a screen. If that's true, nothing could ever become infinitely small. The singularity might never actually exist. Instead, something completely different could happen. Some researchers believe a collapsing black hole may create an entirely new region of space-time. Others imagine the possibility of hidden dimensions. Some even wonder, could every black hole secretly contain another universe? Right now, nobody knows. That's why black holes remain one of the greatest mysteries in science. Every answer creates even bigger questions. Every discovery reveals another secret. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of science: not knowing everything, but continuing to ask. Because every generation moves a little closer to the truth. Perhaps one day, humanity will finally understand what really exists beyond the event horizon. Until then, the greatest mystery in the universe remains hidden inside complete darkness. If you enjoyed exploring the universe with us, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more space documentaries, and don't forget, the universe still holds countless mysteries waiting to be discovered. We'll see you in the next journey.